In my hand is a playbook, a master strategy you were never meant to see. Not one about goals or strategies on the field, but about the human mind. A manual meticulously crafted to make FIFA more than just a game, but an obsession. And its pages? They reveal the cunning lengths EA goes to keep you locked in. Imagine a scheme so vast it's worth 1.7 billion. A scheme so effective governments around the world have had to intervene. But where does this staggering amount come from? And how much of it is from players just like you? Today we follow the money and uncover the truth behind EA's billion-dollar blueprint. Every pass, every goal, every penalty, and every moment you've ever cherished in FIFA is part of a much larger design. A design that has only been speculated about because now we have definitive proof. Recently, a brave whistleblower has stepped forward, exposing the playbook FIFA hoped would stay buried forever. Inside this playbook are 4 secrets, and how they've been used to make FIFA the addiction no one saw coming. Be sure to stay until the end because Secret 4 might be the most cunning of them all. The whistleblower, a game developer at EA, leaked a 54-page internal document. He chose to come forward because he doesn't feel good working on projects that include loot boxes, but feels he can't really do anything about it because the company is trying to make money and satisfy investors. But wait, aren't we talking about a simple game of football here? How did we go from that to whistleblowers, loot boxes, and billion-dollar profits? To understand, let's dive right into the playbook and secret number 1. The strategic acquisition of players. Now, I don't mean to state the obvious here, but the video game is pointless without people actually playing the game. So as normal football returns to stadiums around the globe, with a new season upon us, fans are on the edge of their seats, ready to see their favorite players and teams back in action. EA masterfully capitalizes on this collective anticipation. They tie the game into the exhilarating world of real football, reflecting what's happening on the pitch within the game. This makes it almost irresistible for fans to not dive into the virtual realm, taking control of their beloved teams and favorite players. EA deploys a number of strategies to do this, including using content teasers and campaigns designed for one purpose: to drive excitement and funnel players into the game. Now, these teasers are highly targeted and give you a glimpse of the adrenaline-pumping action of virtual football. Now, let's talk numbers. Financial documents reveal a staggering investment by EA to achieve this. In 2023 so far alone, EA has allocated a mind-blowing $229 million to marketing initiatives aimed at drawing players in. This massive investment underscores the seriousness of their player acquisition strategy. And the outcome? The strategy is a roaring success. If you look here at the leaked documents, they reveal EA now boasts more active players than ever before. The allure, the excitement, and the seamless blend of the pitch have successfully attracted millions of players from around the world. This first secret has set the stage for a thriving and ever-growing player base, laying the foundation of things to come. Which brings us to secret 2, retention. Now that they have players playing the game, they need to keep them engaged. This secret is another masterstroke in the playbook. Why? Because we all know the longer you play, the more likely you are to spend. It's a cycle where every step leads to the other, and it doesn't just end there. The more you spend, the more invested you feel, and the longer you continue to play. But how does EA ensure that you stay hooked instead of eventually getting bored and moving on to a different game? Well, here's the ingenious part. The game is designed with a delicate balance in mind. It needs to be fun, yet challenging at the same time. You need to win some and lose some. That's because if the game is too easy, well, boredom sets in and eventually you'll quit. Whereas if it's too difficult and you constantly lose, frustration builds up and you'll quit here too. That's why they use something called EOMM, or the Engagement Optimized Matchmaking Framework. This is where the magic happens. Patents reveal Electronic Arts has a game retention prediction model in place. This model analyzes your activity data to gauge your expected duration of play. And here's the kicker. Based on this expected duration, the game's difficulty level will be automatically adjusted without you ever knowing it. So if you're dominating opponent after opponent, you can expect a sudden spike in challenge to occur. But what if you're losing game after game and facing a tough time? Well, the game might suddenly seem easier as well. This dynamic adjustment keeps you on your toes, ensuring the game remains engaging forever. And it all happens behind the scenes through an invisible algorithm you never see coming. This specific strategy of player retention is crafted to perfection and keeps you coming back game after game. Now, when we look at the leaked documents, the next bullet reveals the next secret. Players will be actively messaged and incentivized to convert. But convert to what? Well, this brings us to secret 3. Monetizing players. With a large base of players who are happy to stick around, EA now sets the stage to take all they can through monetization. But there was a problem. Traditionally, FIFA games would be a one-time purchase of around $50 to $70. That meant if you bought the game, you got the game, and that was leaving a lot of money on the table for Electronic Arts. So here's where their next masterstroke comes in. They introduced the game mode of Ultimate Team, which allows you to build your own team and compete against the best in the world. A leaked document makes it clear, revealing EA's primary focus is actually to channel all players towards Ultimate Team instead of other modes. Why? Well, here's the catch. To construct your Ultimate Team, you need to acquire players through FIFA packs. When opened, these packs provide you with the chance to obtain a star player, giving your team a better chance to win. It's almost a pay-to-win scheme. Now, the packs themselves are a randomized loot box mechanic, which is infamously linked to addictive gambling behaviors. The thrill of uncertainty keeps players coming back, hoping for a coveted player in the next pack, and the next pack, and the next pack. Again and again, players keep spending for the chance to get their favorite player.
Buying packs was like buying a little burst of happiness that I had felt since I was 12 years old. I can still remember today when I was 13 years old, first time I got a great player in a pack. I got Vincent Kompany in FIFA 13, and I remember that now. I remember that rush and that buzz of getting lucky. At a time in my life where I was just so unhappy, I ended up using that rush, that buzz of luck from packs as a way to cope with everything that was going on.
But the plot doesn't end there. Every year, there's a new FIFA release, and with it, a reset button on your team's roster. So you've spent the past year building your team, a result of time, strategy, and thousands of dollars of investment. It's wiped out. You have to start from scratch once again. This reset is a goldmine for EA as players dive back into purchasing points to rebuild their team so they don't fall behind. For example, in the latest release, which is now called EA Sports FC 24, they offer an elite season opener pack to jumpstart your team. The pack, which costs an additional $30, promises 45 rare gold non-tradable players rated 80 or higher, but the probability of unlocking a gold 90 plus player is only 5.6%, and some fans haven't received any at all. The pack has basically become a joke at this point. Here's what FIFA content creator Swarmzy had to say.
I don't even know what to say about this pack, boys. Like, just look at it, man. Like, it's just awful, man. I've already got both of the players as well. Look at all these dupes I've got. Jesus Christ, man. Like, I can't believe it. Why did I open this?
Yet, the financial figures are staggering. In 2021, Ultimate Team alone accounted for $1.62 billion in revenue, a whopping 53% of EA's total extra content revenue for the year. And in 2022, in only 3 months from April 1st through June 30th, $1.77 billion, representing a 14% increase compared to the same period last year. This monetization strategy, laden with elements preying on fear of missing out, ensures a consistent flow of revenue to the company. As a player, if you miss out on a weekend league or fail to snag the latest promo players, you're left trailing behind, fueling the urge to spend more to catch up. And of course, there are other time-sensitive campaigns like Team of the Year. And this predatory monetization strategy hasn't been without scrutiny, and FIFA packs have drawn the ire of some governments, leading to countries like Belgium to ban loot boxes at times. In another case, a player in Austria successfully sued Sony to recover the sum of money he had spent on loot boxes in FIFA, with the district court ruling that Ultimate Team packs were a form of illegal gambling. So with the attention of governments around the world, how has EA responded? Well, now we approach possibly the most sinister secret of the playbook. Secret 4, Deny. Despite being a game rated E for everyone and recommended for children as young as 3 years old, the introduction of Ultimate Team packs which are basically loot boxes, have raised serious concerns due to their link with gambling. And faced with this mounting scrutiny, EA has deployed a classic corporate PR strategy: just deny it. So in an attempt to manage the scandal, they have stated such ridiculous nonsense, like FIFA packs are not loot boxes, but merely surprise mechanics.
Well, first, we don't call them loot boxes. I think that was
Whatever term you wish to apply to them, do you consider them ethical?
So what we look at as surprise mechanics.
Or likening them to your neighborhood supermarket's friendly children's chocolate, Kinder Surprise eggs.
If you go to I don't know what your version of Target is, but a store that sells a lot of toys, and you do a search for surprise toys, what you'll find is that this is something people enjoy. They enjoy surprises. And so it's something that's been part of toys for years, whether it's Kinder eggs.
This analogy, however, falls flat when the economic stakes and potential for addiction are considered. I can just speak personally, but maybe I'm wrong here, but I have never met anyone addicted to Kinder Surprise eggs, although they are delicious. On the contrary, I know people personally who have struggled with an addiction to FIFA and overspending on packs. I'll share their story here in a minute. Another counterclaim EA has made is their insistence that players are welcome to just play and not spend any money. However, the leaked documents contradict this, revealing a systematic effort to drive all players towards the monetized realm of Ultimate Team. This tactic is eerily reminiscent of the tobacco industry's notorious denial. If you're not familiar, how it worked was that despite internal knowledge at tobacco companies of the addictive nature of nicotine, corporations publicly testified to the contrary, basically saying it was just a bad habit and not an addiction. In a very similar way, EA's denial strategy aims to mask the clear path it lays out to lead players into spending insane amounts within the game, all for EA's profit books. Now, an investigation by Twitter user Scuds TV lays bare the startling reality. After EA made statements that buying packs was entirely optional, since you can technically earn them by simply playing the game, Scuds TV was curious. How long would it take him to build his dream team? He put the idea of his roster together and calculated he would need 100 million FIFA coins. Earning this by merely playing the game would demand that he play 66,666 games, translating to a staggering 22,000 hours or 916 days of continuous gameplay. That's 916 days straight of playing the game 24/7. It's hilariously unrealistic. All right, so let's say instead of playing the game for 2.5 years, he decided to just purchase the players through the market. Well, then he would need to purchase 1,000 packs of 12,000 FIFA points at the cost of £79.99 per 12,000 FIFA points. Get this. It would only cost him £79,990 to get his dream team. That's £79,990 just to get a couple characters in a video game. It's unbelievable. This stark revelation underscores the extent to which the game pushes players towards spending, while at the same time publicly denying the evidence of gambling and addiction. From Secret 1 to 4, EA has a systematic playbook to keep players in an addiction cycle of playing and spending, and always yearning for more. And sadly, the human cost is heartbreaking. Stories have been coming out for years about gamers and families experiencing harm from FIFA. As I mentioned earlier, I know someone who has personally been affected, and that's my friend Jonathan Pennickett. He's one of these gamers who played FIFA.
So I started playing FIFA when I was about 7 years old, and I started playing Ultimate Team when I was 12. I distinctly remember the first time that I asked my dad if I could put money onto the game to buy packs. I'll always remember what he said to me, because he said, I shouldn't because it's gambling. At the time, that was just ridiculous to me. It made me so angry. I thought, it's just a video game. So after probably not too much persuasion, he let me put £15 on. And I spent those £15 on packs and probably tried to hide a slightly underwhelming feeling of disappointment with what I got. I really remember thinking, if I could just spend another £10, then I'll be fine, because that would be the time that I got lucky and I wouldn't need to spend any more money after that. Probably 4 years or so followed after that of spending more money on more packs. It became more secretive. I'd be spending £5 at a time, which turned into £10 and turned into £20. A few weeks before my exams, I would be putting £80 onto the game 4 or 5 times in one night. The point came where the money just ran out. I thought I'd spent maximum maybe £700. It wasn't an amount of money I'd ever been used to dealing with before. It turned out when my parents went through the bank statements that I'd spent about 2,700 in total. I'll remember that conversation for the rest of my life. And I'll always remember that my mum told me that I'd broken her heart with the money that I'd spent. I think as time's gone on and I've become more aware that actually, sadly, my story is really not uncommon. In fact, it's nowhere near uncommon. We have a massive problem out there. So I think my message to other young people out there playing FIFA or opening packs would just be to be aware that there's something that can be, really dangerous and they can become addicted.
So I just want to take a moment and say thanks to Johnny for sharing his story. I know he's not alone and there are so many others out there who are struggling. So if that's you, or you know someone who is spending too much on in-game purchases, then watch this video.